When you think of David and Bathsheba, you probably think of lust, scandal, and betrayal. But what if I told you that this story is far more than a forbidden affair? Behind a seemingly private bath lies law, theology, and a chain of events that would shake an entire kingdom. David, Israel's greatest king, should have been leading his army into battle. Spring was the season of war, and every king took his soldiers to the front lines. But David stayed behind, alone in Jerusalem. And it was from his palace's high vantage point that he saw Bathsheba quietly performing her ritual bath. She wasn't trying to seduce anyone. She was simply fulfilling her religious duty. Yet David's gaze turned a private moment into a moral disaster. The Bible doesn't just mention her bathing, it specifies the timing. According to Levitical law, a woman could only perform this purification after her menstrual cycle ended. This means biologically and legally, the child she would conceive could only be David's. There was no doubt, no loophole. By recording this detail, the biblical author leaves us with undeniable proof. David's sin is clear, and there is no escape. But this story isn't just about proof or biology, it's about the king himself. While his soldiers bled on the battlefield, David lounged in his palace. The timing is no coincidence. The Bible emphasizes that he arose in the evening, suggesting moral and spiritual laziness. The king who was meant to protect his people had become a voyeur. His desire corrupted not just his own heart, but the very role he held as God's chosen leader. Many have misunderstood Bathsheba as a temptress. The text tells a very different story. She is dutiful, following the law with care and obedience. Her bathing is a private, lawful act, yet David's gaze transforms it into a tool of corruption. This contrast isn't accidental. The Bible wants us to see the purity of a law-abiding woman against the moral collapse of a king. It forces us to confront the nature of sin. Is it in the act or in the intention behind the act? David's desire escalated into a crime. When Bathsheba became pregnant, he faced a dilemma. Her husband, Uriah, was away fighting at the front. David could not conceal the truth, so he orchestrated Uriah's death, sending him to the most dangerous part of battle. One moment of lust led to adultery and then murder. The king's sin was no longer private. It became a matter of life and death, impacting the people and the kingdom he was meant to protect. Bathsheba was no ordinary woman. She belonged to a prominent family connected to David's inner circle. By violating her, David triggered a chain of consequences: betrayal, rebellion, and even fratricide among his children. The Bible presents this event as the turning point, the rooftop moment that foreshadows the decline and internal strife of the royal house. No matter how great a king may seem, violating God's law has consequences that ripple across generations. Yet amidst human failure, God's plan continues. Solomon, born from this scandal, would inherit the throne, and generations later, through this lineage, comes Jesus Christ. The story transforms from scandal to divine providence. Human failure does not thwart God's purposes. It becomes a vessel through which His plan unfolds. The Bible presents the Bathsheba episode as both a warning and a testament to God's sovereignty. So why does the Bible include the intimate details of Bathsheba's bath? It's not voyeurism, it's teaching. It highlights law, morality, responsibility, and consequences. It shows how one moment of unchecked desire can reshape history. It challenges us to reflect. What do we observe? What do we neglect? And how do our choices ripple through the lives of others? Today, we may not face kings or rooftop temptations, but we do face choices, responsibilities, and moments where our actions affect others. The story asks us, are we vigilant in our duties? Are we mindful of the impact of our desires? And even when we fail, can we recognize moments of grace that allow redemption and growth? David and Bathsheba's story is not just about sin. It is about law, power, tragedy, and grace. It's about human failure and divine providence. So what does this ancient rooftop teach us about responsibility, morality, and resilience today? Share your thoughts below and join us next time as we explore Bathsheba, revenge or divine providence.